Hey, welcome back. As software engineers, we're constantly juggling different tasks. So how the heck am I supposed to remember that function I wrote this morning when I've already had 3 different meetings? There's no way I can keep that all in my head. So that's why I created this productivity system using 3 different apps: Notion, Todoist, and Notes. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to crush the productivity game using these 3 apps as a software engineer. If you haven't already, like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps me out. All right, let's get started. As software engineers, we're often having to write documentation. And as software engineers, we know what it's like to read ugly, thick documentation. So that's why I love Notion. Notion creates a clean, collaborative environment for me to be able to share my work with other people on my team. So let's go ahead and jump into a couple of different ways that I use Notion in my day-to-day process as a software engineer. You'll get presented with this getting started page, and that's great and all, but let's go ahead and add our own new page. So we'll go ahead and add a page here, and you'll see that it's pretty blank. Let's go ahead and add a cover. So I'm going to add a cover here, and I'm going to go ahead and change the cover. From there, I'm going to select Unsplash. And I'm actually going to look up something that's similar to what we're kind of working in. So for this, it's going to be React. I'm going to go ahead and say React, and then I'm going to reposition that a little bit. Okay, cool. And then I'm going to go ahead and write in a title. So getting started with React. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up some boilerplate code that's already in React. So I'm going to say creating and nesting components, and then this paragraph piece that's down there. And I'm going to go ahead and select empty page, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that in. So you can see here that it's already copying over the headings, and then it even copies over italics and other different font, styles that are already on some documentation. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and copy this function here. I'm going to go back, and I'm going to do 3 backticks, similar to how you would in Slack, and then I'm going to paste that in. And then you can recognize here that it actually sees what kind of language that you're working in. So you can even go down, and it has a whole bunch of different languages that you can work in, but this is specific to JavaScript, so we're going to go ahead and add that in. This is also a really collaborative workspace. So what you can do is you can share this page for free. So you can actually publish this page, publish to web, and now you have a link, and you can go ahead and visit the site. We'll let it load up here for a quick second, and you'll see that it'll end up popping up the cover, and then it also has all of the information that you have. So this is a perfect way to stay organized with your code throughout the day as you kind of get flustered with all the meetings and other things that you have going on. So you can see here that you can write all sorts of different documentation, and you can share it with your development team, whether that be designers or product managers, or maybe even the director of engineering. I really love this way of collaborating with my team, and it creates a really clean and organized space for me to write out my thoughts and to write out all the different features that I've implemented within the day. The next app that I want to touch base on is Todoist. Todoist obviously is really good at making to-do lists, but I love working with Todoist, especially when I'm working in that agile environment, when I have several different tickets that I'm working on throughout the week. It's really helpful in organizing all of the different projects that I'm working on, all of the different features that I need to implement, and it really keeps me on track throughout my week. Also, I have a video already on Todoist. I'll link that up above. But with that being said, let's get started on how I use Todoist to be an effective software engineer. Todoist is really good at giving you a blank canvas to work with and to add as many tasks as you want. So I'm going to go ahead and add a task here, and I'm going to look at GitHub, and I have a repo here with a whole bunch of different LeetCode problems. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take this branch name, and I'm actually going to add it in as my task list. So I have 0001 twosome. I'm going to add that as a task. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a description. So let's just imagine that I'm working on a completely new feature with this branch. So what I'm going to say is figure out how to solve TwoSum. And then any questions that really come up for this PR, let's say you're reviewing it and you have some questions, what you can do is you can add in those questions as a description. I've done this so many times. It's so helpful in just keeping my mind straight and reminding me what exactly it was that that branch was doing. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel this, and I'm actually going to delete this task. Now let's say that I'm working on a new feature called TwoSum. What I would do is I would go ahead and say create new branch to work on ticket. From there, I would say something along the lines of work on branch and fix TwoSum. Then I would say something along the lines of commit code when done and send PR or pull request, right? Submit any reviews, and then I would merge the ticket. So you can see how Todoist is really good at keeping track of your to-do list throughout the week. It's also really good for any notes that you have associated with a particular branch or anything like that, and to keep progress on each branch as you progress throughout the week as well. Now, don't knock this until you try it, but a simple notepad or text pad is super helpful, and it'll go a long way in your software development journey. I use this on a daily basis, especially when I'm working with other developers. It's so helpful at just keeping my thoughts on track and keeping me focused as well. So let's jump into the notepad and how I use it on a daily basis as a software engineer. So I know that I was talking about Notion a little while ago, but Notion's really a place where I'm collaborating with other people, and it's somewhere where I can put down final thoughts and I can share that with other, developers or designers or whatever. My notepad is specifically for me. This is thoughts that I've had throughout the day, thoughts that maybe I've had a conversation with another developer, and this is just like brainstorming space for me. But I use this like crazy, and it's saved me so many times because I've been able to write down notes when somebody else is talking, and I've been able to kind of regurgitate some of those notes back to the people that, are involved with whatever it is that we're developing. So this is really helpful, and I love this app. I love taking notes on the notepad. So I'm going to give you an example. This is new app, but I'm going to go ahead and start something else. Now, this was a feature that I was supposed to implement for a page that I was creating, and there were 3 different scenarios that could happen. A campaign can get created, the page can get loaded up, and a campaign can get stopped. So these were 3 different scenarios that this app could handle. And you can see here that I just have some simple sentences with each edge case that happens, right? So it's as simple as that. And this is really clean, and it really kind of keeps my thoughts together throughout the day. So, and you can tell this is pretty small. So this is something that I would probably work on within a day and get it done and tackled and, get it out of here. And then I would just delete this and let it go. Or I would keep it for, safekeeping, or in case somebody asked me what I did on that day, I could use this for that. And, in conjunction with Todoist, this is also really helpful. Now, I know it doesn't take a genius to know how to work a notepad. It allows me just to give me a space to put my ideas, because I know that I can't keep my ideas in my head on my own. So those are the 3 tools that I use throughout the day to really help me stay on top of my productivity game. If you've liked this video, go ahead and like and subscribe. It really helps me out. With that being said, I hope you have a great day and a great rest of your week.